Hello, and welcome to the last video report on my hair rendering project. The broken line rendering from last week has been fixed by correctly setting up the buffer descriptions for the right size and number of vertices. It only works for hairs composed of a single line, as more lines would have gaps in them. This could be solved by doing some maths to find every third vertex in an individual hair and moving it to the position of the previous vertex, stitching them together in a way. After making sure all the hairs were created properly, I decided to add some rudimentary pseudophysics to them to make them fall downwards. It's just two forces, one pulling them straight down and one pulling them back towards their parent node, and there are no collisions and it's not physically accurate, but it does work. It also makes the system run very slowly with this model. Hairs are placed at every vertex of the mesh and there are 87,000 vertices. So I took the model into Photoshop and simplified it down to 3,000, and that made it run much smoother. The plan is to only create hairs from vertices that correspond to certain texture colours such as jet black, or to have an invisible scalp model that sits on top of the character's head, and hairs would only be created for that scalp model. Additionally, if I can get tessellation implemented, then the scalp model can be quite low poly, and the extra in-between hairs would be much faster to compute. One last thing that I want to implement, if I have time, is realistic string physics on the strands.